The haunting of the Draugr. In ancient Scandinavia, tales of the Draugr, a type of undead being, captured the imaginations of the people, residing in burial mounds. These vengeful spirits were said to rise from the grave, guarding their treasures with terrifying might. Unlike mere ghosts, Draugr retained their physical form, often described as bloated and decayed, emanating a dreadful stench of decay. The origin of the Draugr can be traced back to Viking burial customs. When a warrior died, it was customary to bury them with their belongings, ensuring they would have what they needed in the afterlife. However, if a person died with unresolved grievances or buried improperly, they might return as a Draugr, seeking revenge on the living or guarding their wealth jealously. In one famous tale from the saga of Grettir the Strong, Grettir encounters a formidable Draugr named Glamour. Glamour had terrorized the local population, killing anyone who dared approach his grave. When Grettir confronts him, a fierce battle ensues, showcasing the Draugr's immense strength and supernatural abilities. Ultimately, Grettir succeeds in defeating Glamour, but not without suffering severe consequences. The encounter leaves Grettir cursed, illustrating the Draugr's lasting impact even on those who conquer them. The Draugr's abilities were not limited to physical strength. They could shapeshift, grow in size, and even control the weather. Tales recounted how these malevolent beings could walk through solid rock, tormenting those who disturbed their graves. Many Viking families took precautions, placing large stones over burial sites or burying their dead at sea to prevent them from returning. In 1911, a chilling incident occurred in Norway, where a graveyard was disturbed during a construction project. Workers reported strange occurrences, disembodied whispers, and sudden temperature drops. One night, a worker claimed to have seen a figure rise from the earth, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Terrified, the workers abandoned the site, convinced they had awakened a Draugr from its slumber. As the belief in Draugr faded over the centuries, their legacy endured in folklore and popular culture. Today, the image of the Draugr continues to resonate, inspiring countless adaptations in literature, video games, and films. The concept of the vengeful undead guarding their treasures taps into universal fears of death, loss, and the unknown. Even in modern Scandinavia, stories of Draugr persist, reminding us of a time when the boundaries between the living and the dead were fragile. The haunting presence of the Draugr lingers on, a powerful symbol of the cultural fears surrounding death and the restless spirits of the past.
The Fomorians, Finland's mysterious forest dwellers, myth or reality? In the quiet forests of northern Finland, stories about the Fomorians have been told for years. Locals say these mysterious beings are guardians of the forest. They are described as being 7 to 8 feet tall and have a strange glow in their eyes. People say they watch over travelers from the shadows of trees. Reports about the Fomorians have surfaced from time to time since the early 1900s. Some people believe they are just stories. Others are sure they are real. In 1932, a well-known Finnish hunter, Tuomas Arendi, claimed to have encountered a Fomorian during a solo hunting trip. Tuomas was well respected in his community, and certainly not one for fantasy. But on that night, he returned shaken. He recounted how he saw a figure with eyes like burning embers. It was watching Tuomas from the tree line. It stood there, he reportedly said, motionless, like it was testing me. Its eyes seemed to glow. When Tuomas shared his experience, his story swiftly spread through the villages of northern Finland. This revived older tales of the forest spirits and ancestral guardians from the Sami culture, an indigenous people with deep-rooted beliefs in nature spirits. Yet, Tuomas's account didn't quite fit these traditional accounts. Locals began to wonder, could the Fomorians be a separate, unknown group entirely? Local encounters and shared experiences. Throughout the following decades, other residents in Finland reported similar encounters. In the 1960s, a group of forestry workers claimed they had been watched by multiple beings over the course of several nights. According to one of the workers, Veikko Saarinen, they had set up camp near a forest clearing when he noticed movement out of the corner of his eye. They didn't look like animals or people, he said. They were too still, almost blending into the trees, and their eyes. There was something off about them. Reports consistently describe the Fomorians as having golden or glowing eyes and being really tall, and they were silent and almost camouflaged in the forest. Their bodies are said to be slender, almost tree-like in their stillness. Though few details about their features exist, given the usual distance between the observers and the beings, skeptics and believers, not everyone believes in the Fomorians. Some people think the sightings might just be tricks of the mind, reflections of light, or even animals like owls, whose eyes can shine in a way that looks strange. Others believe that the stories are a mix of old tales and things people see in nature, especially when they spend a lot of time alone in Finland's big forests. Yet, for many locals, the Fomorians represent something much deeper, a tie to the land, a reminder of the forest's untamed mysteries. The Sami, Finland's indigenous people, have stories of nature spirits who dwell in trees and rocks, protecting the balance of the forest. Some believe that the Fomorians might be a modern manifestation of these spirits, a reminder that nature holds secrets beyond human understanding. The Fomorians, myth, reality, or something else? In recent years, renewed interest in the Fomorians has sparked online discussions. Locals and outsiders alike are eager to solve the mystery. To this day, encounters with the Fomorians remain rare, and no one has ever come forward with concrete, undisputed evidence. But the stories persist, with new sightings reported every few years. Are the Fomorians a real, undiscovered presence in the forests of northern Finland? Or are they merely a blend of cultural legends and eerie encounters, fueled by imagination? The question lingers in the minds of those who venture deep into Finland's forests. Tell us your opinion in the comments. Are the Fomorians real, or just another ghost story in the woods?
Cailleach, often called the Hag of Beer, is an important figure in Irish mythology. Her name means the Veiled One, or Hag, and she represents winter in the wild side of nature. As a winter goddess, Cailleach symbolizes the end of the growing season and the cold months ahead. Each year, when spring approaches, Cailleach begins to lose her power. This change is celebrated during Imbolc, a festival that marks the beginning of spring. During this time, Bridget, the goddess of spring, takes over. In some stories, Cailleach gathers firewood for the remaining days of winter. If she gathers enough, she can extend winter a little longer. This shows the ongoing struggle between winter and spring. Cailleach also has a strong connection to weather and farming. Many believe she can control storms and snow. Farmers in rural Ireland would sometimes leave offerings for her, hoping for good weather and strong crops. This shows how important she was in helping people survive through tough times. In different regions of Ireland, Cailleach is shown in various ways, but she is often seen as a wise old woman. Her stories remind us of the power of nature and the importance of respecting the world around us. Interestingly, Cailleach is not just found in Irish stories. Similar figures exist in Scottish and Welsh folklore. In Scotland, she is known as Cailleach Burr, and in Welsh myths, the goddess Ceridwen shares some of her traits. This shows that cultures across the British Isles have honored this kind of earth goddess. Today, many modern pagans and people interested in nature still connect with Cailleach. She represents the wise woman and the changes that happen in nature. Her stories remind us to respect the earth and understand the cycles of life. In all her forms, Cailleach teaches us about the balance of nature, the beauty of the seasons, and the strength found in our connection to the world around us. Cailleach is known for her connection to the land. She is said to have created many mountains and hills in Ireland. For example, the Slieve Mish Mountains are thought to be her work. When she walks across the land, her footsteps shape the earth, showing her power and role as a protector of nature.